Then if you click, then it will take you to their website as well. Why are we discussing this when we are talking about generative AI and social media and everything else? Well, 130. So there are 130 or more social media platforms. It means that they have audience as well. And if they have audience, then does it mean that we should, as a startup, we should have presence across all of those 130 social media platforms? And the answer is obviously no. And why? Because if we do that, we'll be wasting a lot of time, money, and resources. But the thing is that if you don't have presence across all of these platforms and only have presence across major ones like Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and TikTok and Pinterest, then also there is a very high probability that you won't be able to meet your marketing objectives. So to make sure that the campaigns that we are launching are highly targeted and we achieve the desired results in marketing, we use this framework. And it is called POST framework. It's a pretty simple one, but it's highly effective. And it starts with people. Always start with people that you want to connect with. And then your objectives. What are you trying to communicate with those people? What are you trying to achieve? Then your strategy. How will you talk to them? Each social media platform would have multiple different features. And for each feature, there might be multiple different tactics that you can use to communicate what your objective is. And then the technology should be the very last piece of the puzzle. You never start with technology because then there would be major limitations as to how you achieve your marketing objectives. Let's try to understand this framework from an example. Wendy's. Now, according to Wendy's, their beef is always fresh, uh, never frozen beef. And many of you might know this already, but for many of you, this might be a news for you. That it's a fast food company, and they claim that their beef is always fresh. They never use frozen beef. And that is incredible. If I ask you, could this be their differentiator? I'm sure many of you will agree as well, because how many fast food chains can claim that the beef that they are serving is always fresh? So this is what Wendy's, they have to say. By focusing on quality in our food, in our people, and in our overall experience, it's easy to see what makes us different from the other guys. And one of those differentiators was and has always been serving fresh, never frozen hamburgers. So this is one of their major differentiators, right? So if Wendy's, they want to run a social media campaign, I'm sure many of you will agree that this could be one of the objectives that place an order, and Wendy's could be one of the really good options out there. So Wendy's decided that because we have such a wide and such a broader scale of, let's say, presence all across the globe, why not to target gamers? Because clearly there are 3 billion of them, and the average age group of 24 to 34 really aligns with our target consumer. So Wendy's wants to talk to gamers. Let's go back to our framework, post framework. It starts with people. And the objective is communicate that our beef is always fresh. Now, to reach out to gamers, they thought that maybe we can do something related to Fortnite. And many of you might have played Fortnite before. In year 2019, it was the biggest game on planet. And at any given point of time, you would see somewhere between 3 to 4 million players at any given point of time. So if you reach out to them, chances are you will reach out to 3 to 4 million people all at the same time. So Wendy's wants to communicate that their beef is always fresh. They want to reach out to gamers and they want to do something with Fortnite. And now think about it. You all are entrepreneurs, so I'm assuming you all are highly creative. What exactly can Wendy's do with Fortnite? Some of the options could be, so for example, selling skins through Fortnite. This will require them to have a collaboration with Fortnite. They'll have to pay a lot of money to Fortnite, but why not? We assume that Wendy's would have a lot of money for sure. But then there are other options as well. So there could be, let's say, Wendy's inside Fortnite. And there are many other ways to collaborate with them. But every option will require them to spend a lot of money, and that's exactly what major brands have been doing. So they will pay big bucks for in-game sponsorships. But in 2019, a Fortnite came up with a different game mode called Food Fight, where they have Team Burger and then Team Pizza. And then just like what happens in Fortnite, they compete against each other, they kill each other. So it works exactly the same as Fortnite, but this game mode was Food Fight. And Wendy's thought we can do something organically. And when I say organically, it means without spending any money. So Wendy's decided that let's play Fortnite. So if Wendy's wants to play Fortnite, a question to all of you, just think about it. Which team they should join? Team Burger or Team Pizza? And many of us might think that, well, they sell burgers, so they should join Team Burger. But Wendy's decided to join Team Pizza. And the reason is that Team Burger stored their beef in freezers, and Wendy's doesn't do frozen beef. So they created an account on Fortnite. They selected a character that looked similar to their mascot, but then instead of killing team members of the opposite team, Team Burger, Wendy's decided to kill burger freezers from Fortnite for 9 hours straight. So they picked up a controller, but instead of killing other players, they started killing freezers again and again. And then Wendy's streamed it all on Twitch. Now, many of you might be familiar with Twitch. Twitch is a streaming platform mostly used by gamers. Not only used by gamers, but mostly used by gamers. And this is the final piece of the puzzle. So, why Twitch was chosen? Because they will find the target consumers over there. And on Twitch, hundreds and thousands of gamers watch Wendy's wage war on Fortnite's frozen beef. What happened as a result? Well, Twitch stream was viewed live more than quarter of million times. Mentions of Wendy's increased by close to 120% on social platforms. That is incredible. Twitch created a reel of Wendy's character destroying all Fortnite freezers. But then something exciting happened. When Wendy's was killing those burger freezers, other players, like those 3 to 4 million players who are always playing Fortnite, they noticed that Wendy's is there playing Fortnite and it is killing burger freezers. So they joined the mission and started killing all the burger freezers. But they didn't stop there. Many of them recorded them killing burger freezers, and then they shared it on social media, including Twitch, as a user-generated content. So it reached out to more and more and more people, but most of them were basically gamers, those 3 billion people within the age group of 24 to 34, who was the target market for Wendy's. Finally, Fortnite decided that it is removing burger freezers from the game altogether. Here is a video I would play, and let's see what exactly happened, and then let's discuss further. if this kind of a campaign could have been launched somewhere on Instagram or on Facebook or on TikTok.
Let's now talk Fortnite, shall we? It's the newest video game craze, spreading fast among kids, college kids, even celebrities.
Kids are nuts for this Fortnite.
Fortnite has taken over the gaming world, becoming the most streamed game on Twitch ever. But brands are left out of the action, either tweeting from the sidelines or paying big bucks for in-game sponsorships. So when Fortnite announced a new event called Food Fight between Team Pizza and Team Burger, Wendy's saw an organic weigh-in. We found out Team Burger stored their beef in freezers. And Wendy's doesn't do frozen beef. So we got on Twitch, chose a character with red hair and pigtails, dropped into the game, and instead of killing other players, we started destroying burger freezers. Again and again and again for 9 hours straight. We also declared our mission on Twitter, sending hundreds of thousands of gamers to Twitch to watch us play. And soon other players stopped killing each other and started killing burger freezers with us.
Hi, Wendy's, dude, let's go!
Top Twitch streamers took notice.
I saw a Wendy's stream over here, dude.
Oh, you smacking the burger freezers?
This shit's lit. This kind of stuff keeps the game fresh. Thank you so much for coming to the stream, Wendy.
News outlets were talking about it. Even Twitch posted a highlight reel of Wendy's best freezer kills. Then, our own competitors showed us some respect. But most importantly, the game developers removed the freezers from every burger restaurant, meaning Wendy's had rid Fortnite of frozen beef forever.
Okay, so see, it is one thing that you have launched an extremely successful campaign. But if your competitors are talking about you and they are praising you, then you have definitely done something incredible. And that's what you saw in the video. KFC tweeted about it, right? So now Twitch. Do you think Twitch has as many followers as Facebook or Instagram? And the answer is no, right? Just a fraction of it. But you would notice that if you launch something on Facebook, Instagram, or on TikTok, and if you receive 2 to 3 million engagements, it is considered as a very successful campaign. But on Twitch, getting 10 million, 12 million, 15 million engagements is pretty average. Why is that? Because you are reaching out to a specific group of potential customers where you are reaching out to them and giving them what they are interested in. Marketing is not an interruption over here. It is an interaction. When you visit Instagram and you see, let's say, an ad of a certain product, you are not using Instagram to see ads from those products. Marketing becomes an interruption. But people are there on Twitch to see their favorite players play games. The entire campaign was created in such a way that it was part of the interaction, part of the entire experience. And that is the reason it became so very popular. But if they would have had started with technology, then would they have ever chosen Twitch? The answer is no, right? Then you will only go for those Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and Twitter and so on, right? So going back to our framework, we want to reach out to gamers with an objective that we want to communicate our differentiator, which is that our beef is always fresh. Strategy is let's play Fortnite and destroy burger freezers. And for that, technology would be Twitch. Here is another example. And this is from Heinz. When Heinz was launching its mayonnaise, there was a problem. And the problem was that though Heinz is America's #1 ketchup, it's Heinz that is first time launching its mayonnaise doesn't mean people have never used mayonnaise before. How can you generate buzz around a product that is already available in the market for the past 262 years? If I tell you right now that, hey, Heinz is launching its mayonnaise, what would you tell me? Hmm, okay, right? What's so exciting about it? Nothing. And they wanted to do something that is exciting. So they started with a market research. And their research said that people have strong feelings about unexpected food combinations and aren't shy about sharing their opinions. So if I tell you, would you like to have poutine with watermelon? Many of you might be making a face right now. And the reason is because when we hear of unexpected food combinations, we aren't shy about sharing our opinions, whether we would give it a try or not. So, where do you find these opinionated people? Online. And one of the very good contender would be X, Twitter. So Heinz decided that they will create a fictional product, and that's how they created Mayo Chup, which is a combination of Heinz mayonnaise and Heinz ketchup. And then they created a poll asking people if they would want to try Mayo Chup. And if people say overwhelmingly yes, they would release Mayo Chup in the market. There were no plans to launch Mayo Chup. Mayo Chup, by the way, is currently available in stores. But the entire product was conceptualized just as part of the marketing campaign to bring awareness for Heinz mayonnaise. And that's about it. So the idea was that let's people talk about our mayo chup and then indirectly bring awareness for our mayonnaise. So they created this Twitter or X poll, and it said that want mayo chup in stores, 500,000 votes for yes, and we'll release it to you saucy Americans. And you can see from results, many people were interested. Now, you might be wondering, it's just a Twitter poll, big deal about it. Why are we even discussing this? We are discussing this because just this one poll became the most effective product launch in the history of Heinz. In fact, the Twitter poll itself got the highest response rate in Twitter's history. It generated more than 2.2 billion impressions, 1245 media placements, and then the awareness for Heinz mayonnaise increased by 27%. Let's see a video about what happened. I hope my screen is visible.
I don't know if you know about this, but the Heinz company announced yesterday they have a new condiment, supposedly by popular demand. And that condiment, can we get a drum roll? Okay.
A bottled blend of mayonnaise and ketchup. Mayo chup is what they're calling it right here.
Yes, mayo chup. A single word that truly captures what our nation is all about.
Too time consuming to squirt the ketchup and then the mayonnaise and mix it so you got the mayo chup. Mayo chup.
Mayo chup.
Mayo chup. Mayonnaise.
Mayo.
Mayonnaise. Mayo.
Mayo, mayonnaise,
Mayonnaise, mayonnaise, mayonnaise.
Now we have to decide what to use it on or with, or this is all too much.
So, like you heard in the video, just one Twitter poll was responsible for two very successful product launches. Why two? Because many people wanted MayoChap, and today, if you go to any of the stores, you will find MayoChap in store as well. So again, going back to our post framework, people, let's reach out to opinionated consumers who are very comfortable sharing their opinions online. Objective is to get people talking about our newly launched mayonnaise. Strategy is by introducing a completely different product and then indirectly bring awareness for our mayonnaise. And here the technology is Twitter. So you never start with technology. It's always people that you want to reach out to, then objectives that you want to achieve, what you want to communicate to those people, your strategy, different tactics that you would deploy, and finally, technology should be the very last piece of the puzzle. So if you are in a process of launching your very first marketing campaign or any marketing campaign, and if you are wondering, what should I do and where should I start? I would highly recommend starting with this framework. Now you have decided what your strategy would be. You know technology, the platform that you would use on social media. And now you have to create content. And creating content was difficult until a few years ago. But now with AI, all of us small business owners, startup founders, and marketers have something incredible, valuable in hand. We can create content, we can generate images and videos and music and everything, and we can reach out to our customers. But doing it the right way is extremely critical, because that is the difference, because everybody is using multiple different tools out there. But then if you follow the right process, the quality of your content would be much more engaging. Let's start by understanding what the landscape is like when we say artificial intelligence, which basically is around since 1970s. But then within artificial intelligence, we now have machine learning, where different models are tested and raised in such a way that they can answer questions. A very good example would be Google Maps. If I ask Google Maps, I want to go from place A to place B, it will tell me how to get there. But then as these machine learning models have more and more access to data, uh, they enter the process of deep learning, where they cannot just answer you the question, but then they will provide the most optimal solution that you are looking for. So Google Maps would not just tell me that, okay, this is how you go from point A to point B. It might tell me, well, there are three different ways available. The first one has a lot of traffic now. The second one has construction going on. You should take the third one, right? So that is part of deep learning. And now within deep learning, we have generative AI. So now these models are not just providing optimal solutions, but then they can generate something new from scratch, which was not even available earlier. And when we say generative AI, we are talking about large language models like ChatGPT or Gemini that can generate text for you. And we also have diffusion model, where Dolly and Sora and tons of other tools generate images, videos, music, sound, and all of those for you. Right? So how you can use generative AI. So in the remaining time that we have, what we would do is I will first tell you what you can generate, but then we will end it with an example of what is the right way of generating, let's say, different content. So at the very basic level, you can generate text. So if you tell, let's say, ChatGPT, for example, the person you want to write an email for, what is the task, what is the theme, your tone, style, and everything else, it would generate that email for you. We all do this all the time. It can also be used in your entrepreneurial journey as well. And Adore Me is a very good example of that. They use this generative AI tool called Writer, and you see this name on top, on bottom right. And what Writer does is it generates SEO-friendly descriptions and headlines for all of your products. And that is incredible because if you are, let's say, someone like Adore Me, who's a clothing retailer, you might have hundreds and hundreds of products, and writing those SEO-friendly descriptions can take forever. So this tool Writer was extremely useful for them. 2,900 descriptions were created in minutes, resulted in 40% increase in non-branded search. So they were definitely SEO friendly. 23% increase in click-through rate, and then 35 hours per writer were saved per month. So if you are launching a website which is highly product focused, something like Writer could be extremely useful for you. You can also use generative AI, and I'm sure most of you do that, to generate images. If you tell a scene, lighting, props, and everything else, you can create a prototype of your product. And this is what I would highly recommend you as well. If you are at this stage of your entrepreneurial journey where you still don't have your MVP ready and you have to pitch in front of an investor, don't wait or say that I don't have my prototype ready. Use these AI tools to develop something so that they can visualize and see how it would look like. And obviously there would be tons of different changes, but then that really improves your chances of getting a yes from an investor. So I wanted to generate a fragrance bottle. I told ChatGPT my concept, lightning, props, and scene and everything. And then it gave me these three options. And I chose the middle one. I really liked it. And so that is how you generate different images. Now, you can use these same images to turn them into videos. But before we talk about videos, businesses are using AI to create their entire collections. And this is what Revolve did for their 20th anniversary. Revolve, which is again a clothing retailer, they created their entire collection using AI. All of this collection that you see on screen, it was AI generated. And it was sold within days. It completely sold out. So it can help you with your product development as well. So then what you can do, you can turn those images into moving images, into videos. So this is the bottle towards the left that I told you that I really liked. And then I used Ideogram, which is an AI tool. And then I shared this image, and then I asked it to turn it into a 5-second video. I mentioned camera action, motion cues, focus, and what the lightning should be like. And this is the video it created for me. So text was used to create an image of a product, and then what that image was turned into this little video. In the industry, entertainment industry is using AI for many different reasons. And Toys R Us sparked a debate in the industry where they released an entire movie about their founder using AI. And the movie was shown in Cannes. A lot of divided views. Many felt that it's not fair for people who work in this sector. But Toys R Us said that it's simply using tools that are already available, and it wanted to give it a try and see what they can create. I will play this video. This is just a trailer of what they created, but everything was created using Sora.
Ever wonder how Toys R Us and Jeffrey the Giraffe came to be? The son of a bike shop owner, Charles Lazarus, had a vision that would go on to change toy stores forever. To watch the full story, go to Toys.
I'm just trying to move to the next slide, sorry. And let me again share my screen. Okay, so text turned into an image turned into a video. Now I wanted some music, so I went to suno.ai. I mentioned the vibe, the instrument, the purpose, and the lightning that I wanted. And accordingly, it created this music for me, which I can use as a background for this video. We have seen in 2023 a famous Korean singer released a song in 6 languages, and the singer didn't know any of those languages apart from their own language, but they were able to reach out to people who who can't understand, your native language, and the singer can't understand them, but then the music was created for them. AI was used to make sure that the versions in those different languages had accent, that were local as well, so that people don't feel that, okay, something is off. So you can reach out to an audience, otherwise, who you can't even communicate with. And there are tons of tools available for everything that you want to do, right from idea, doing research, writing, images, generating videos, audio, and also editing. But then there are limitations. And what are the limitations? So let's say you want to generate a video. And by the way, this entire chart will be in the one pager that Karine will send you. So I wanted to generate a video. And like I said, you never directly start by generating a video. You start by doing some brainstorming. So let's say for this purpose, I use Claude. And then once I had entire idea in place what I wanted to do, then you generate different images. And then each image could be 3 to 5 seconds, and then you stitch them together. Then you have a music in the background and you have your video ready. But see, there is a problem here. I wanted to show that this beaver from Canada is flying from Canada to Jamaica at one of their national parks, and he wants to click pictures of flamingos. So he arrives, he sees, all of those flamingos, he lands, he clicks those pictures, they fly, and then he is returning home. Now, if you pay attention, you would notice that, first of all, the plane is different. So in the first image is yellow and looks very odd compared to the second one, which is in brown and white, but then it is totally different. Then the third one is again different from the first one, though it is again in yellow. And then the final one itself gives you a feeling that it is not matching, what you see in the rest of the images. Even the clothing itself, it is a shade of brown, then there is no clothing, then there is again some sort of a jacket he is wearing, but then not the rest of the accessories, then again no clothing. And now if you have a look at these flamingos, they look different as well. But also there is no consistency in terms of background images. So that scenery, it looks different in each image. And that will always be a problem if you directly start by generating those different images and you start turning them into a video. There would be no consistency at all. So what is the right process? You start by finalizing what the concept is. Once the concept is available, then you generate characters. So you can use, and you will see over here, I have relied on Gemini, right? So I wanted my beaver to look like the way it is here on screen, wearing what you see on screen. I wanted very specific kind of flamingos that we see in Jamaica. I wanted to make sure that the airplane has that Jamaican flag for authenticity. And then the landscape itself should be close to what that national park is like. So once you have all the characters in place, then you will upload these characters on, let's say, any image generating platform, and then you will ask that, okay, you want to make this beaver fly, and then you will share more details. It will generate that image. But the next time, if you want beaver to do something else, you will now again have a reference point so that the AI will make sure that in terms of the way beaver looks or all the characters look, their detailing and everything else, there is a consistency. So this was the very first image that was generated, and now you would see that how the airplane looks similar to what we generated. We don't see the beaver in detail over here, but when it comes to the background, it is again same as what we earlier generated. Now there is a second shot, right? So the plane is still the same, and you see that the beaver has all the details, that we earlier mentioned. You want beaver taking a picture or a photograph of flamingos, and now you see beaver is still the same, and you have these flamingos, right? It doesn't mean there wouldn't be any discrepancies. There would still be. Do you like, how tall the beaver is compared to flamingos? If the answer is yes, perfect, go ahead. But then if you feel that, okay, let's say, for example, the lens over here, do you want it as long as the way it was when you generated that first image, that character? Then you might will have to tell AI that, okay, it is still good, but then I still see certain discrepancies and you will have to fix those. But generating your characters earlier will make sure that there is consistency. So this is where I will end our today's session, and I will open for your you can ask me your questions, but there are tools available for everything. But follow this process. Do your research, your idea generation using tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, and everything else. And then you can use that to generate images using Ideogram, Gemini, Midjourney, and so on. And then you create the entire storyboard, right? But then before creating the storyboard, you generate those characters, individual characters. And once you have the entire storyboard ready, then each image from that storyboard can be turned into 3 to 5 second video, and then you can stitch them all together along with the music. So that is the right way of generating content for your different campaigns. As I shared last time, I would love to connect with each one of you. So here is my LinkedIn. I have shared my email address, but LinkedIn is the best place, to reach out to me. Send me a note if you would like to discuss anything related to your own marketing and content strategy. Happy to have a short call with all of you, and we can discuss this further. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Kareem.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So I have a couple of questions